Hey, today we're doing something a little different. I'm going to show you how to make super adjustable, easy to install hammock support straps. So, we're going to build these hammock support straps because it's going to start out with a tree protector, nice flat rope up here to protect the tree, very quick adjustable connections, easy to install, can repair it on the trail, and you can also use these individual parts which are in your backpack if you needed to, say, take it apart and make a splint or fix your backpack, maybe tie a bear bag. So how do we build this thing? Let's talk about it today. First thing you're going to want to have is about 10 feet of good quality climbing rope. So what I have here is about 7 mil or so, about 7 mil rope, 20 feet of it cut into 2-foot sections. The next thing we're going to want to have is tubular webbing. So I started out with 16 feet of tubular webbing, cut it into 2 8-foot sections. Now what makes tubular webbing? So this is about 3/4 inch tubular webbing. They have inch wide as well. But tubular webbing, again, good quality climbing spec material, is actually tubular. So it's sewn in a circle, and when it will lay flat against your tree, you can still insert our rope into the end, tubular webbing. Finally, we need about 10 feet of accessory cord. This is about 4 mil or so high quality climbing accessory cord. And what we want to do with our 10 feet of accessory cord, we're going to cut 2-foot sections, give or take, and we're going to cut 2 3-foot sections. Take your 3-foot section, loop it together, and tie a double fisherman's knot. You can use other knots, that's fine, but we're not going to go over how to tie a double fisherman's today. That is available with other YouTube videos that you can find, but we need 2 of those loops. Finally, 2 carabiners, which will attach directly to your hammock. Nothing fancy, light, don't need lockers, something simple. All right, so now to get this going, take one of your pieces of tubular webbing and one of your open pieces of accessory cord, and we're going to slide both pieces, both ends of your accessory cord down into the tubing or into the tubular webbing. Now, we want to make sure we leave a decent sized loop, a couple of inches. And what we want to do with this is tie what's called a beer knot. A beer knot is an overhand knot with tubular webbing and some kind of rope inside of that tubular webbing. So let's take a look at our beer knot. The accessory cord goes into the tubular webbing, and then the tubular webbing then has an overhand knot tied into it. The end of my accessory cord is right down here. So the accessory cord is actually in that knot, and it's not going anywhere. You could really put some serious weight on that simple knot. The next thing we want to do, on the other side of our tubular webbing, is take one of our lengths of climbing cord, and we're going to insert that into the other end of the tubular webbing. Make sure you get enough inside so that you can tie an overhand knot and have some left over. Make a little extra tail down there. Fighting my way in. Might be enough. Okay. So now what we're going to do is tie another overhand knot. Make sure that the knot is on the webbing side, not on the rope. All right, let's take a look at this. Rope goes into the webbing, through the overhand knot, and you can see there's some extra left over on that end. All right, next thing we want to do is tie a simple stopper knot at the end of your rope. We're not climbing here, so an overhand knot will do, just to keep you from adjusting off the end, or if you prefer, tie a little barrel knot down there. Okay. We're now ready to make our adjustable end. So on the rope, what you want to do is adjust your loop so that the knot is very close to your right hand, but not at the edge, just close up here to your right hand. With your left hand, put the loop underneath your rope. The next thing we're going to do is wrap, okay? We're going to wrap up towards our tubular webbing. And so what we're trying to achieve here is probably 3 good wraps around our rope, nice and neat. Our loop down here and our loop with the knot up here. Take your loop with the knot and feed it through the smaller loop at the bottom. And what you'll create is a friction knot. This is a Prusik type. I believe this one's called an auto block, if my memory's any good. But the way this auto block or this Prusik works, and you can just use a standard Prusik too if you don't want to tie this auto block, but the way this works is I can slide this with my hand. I can take this and slide it anywhere on the rope. But if I pull that loop, it's going to lock down. And it's going to lock down strong enough to hold my weight. So now if I take my carabiner and slide it in there, we now have ourselves a complete 1/2 of a hammock system. So you have to tie another one of these exactly the same. Okay, so let's talk about how we use these things. We got Tony G working the camera today. First thing we want to do is run a choker around the tree. Now, these trees are a little bit close together, so I think what we're going to do is go around twice, use up a little bit of the strapping. If you don't need this much strap, you might want to make yours a little shorter. Sometimes here in Pennsylvania we get really big trees, so I did make my straps a little long. But there's a choker. Whoop, there's a choker with a wrap. And again, if you don't need to take up the room, you can only run it around there once. All right, let's put on the hammock. And what we're going to do is hook that carabiner to your Prusik line. Doing the same on the other side. And now we can just run that line right through that Prusik to tighten it up. Same on the other side. All right, on this hammock I've run an adjustable ridge line that I can adjust. We'll talk about that a separate time, but there it is. And in just that quick, I can get that adjustment. A little too tight, I run it down, run it back up. But when we're ready to sit on it, those knots will hold. And that's how you make your own hammock straps. Thanks.